Hi, I'm dyeing my hair again. Isn't it pretty? It'll look better once I'm actually done. So I just remembered something, and I have to share it now before I forget. And besides, since only 2 people watch this anyway, I don't care if y'all see me dyeing my hair. Because I've already admitted in I'm Not Adopted that I'm not naturally red. And I'm clearly not the kind of person that has to look good before people can see her. Clearly. Okay, so in the home I last lived in, one of the ladies, she'd often come, she moved out a long time ago, but she'd often come knock on my door and chat with me because I was the only person she could have an intelligent conversation with. And at first, I thought that she was coherent for the first like 20 minutes, and then I realized she wasn't. I repeat myself a lot too, but it usually takes a little bit longer than 20 minutes. Usually takes about 3 weeks before I start repeating my stories. So I'm a little surprised I haven't yet. But that's because there's new drama all the time at these homes. So, you know, there's that. But she was telling me how offended she was that she was getting pictures of her grandchildren with the other grandma involved and she was not. And she didn't understand why her daughter-in-law didn't like her. And she would tell me that when her son and daughter-in-law first got married, the daughter-in-law's brother came to live with them because he didn't have a place to stay for a few months. And she had said, no newlywed couple should have anyone living with them for at least a year. Okay, that's sound advice, but he didn't have anywhere to live. Like, they're not going to kick him out on the street. And the brother was gay, and this woman was like, he doesn't have the light of Christ with him. I don't like him living with you. Well, that's not really your concern if what you like, because you're not living there. I didn't say that, because I can on occasion employ tact. But I was like, well, that's her brother, and they still loved him, so, you know, they're gonna go with, you know, they love him. And she's like, well, he doesn't have the light of Christ. And I was like, well, is it just because he's gay? Because I know a lot of gay people who are really good Christians. She's like, well, how can they be? And I was like, well, it's possible. And I didn't go into detail of how, you know, they're really not mutually exclusive, but whatever. I just said it was possible. And then the daughter-in-law told her one day that she didn't believe in God anymore. Now, keep in mind that this couple had been married in the faith that I was raised in, the LDS faith, in one of their temples, which is fairly elite. I myself have been through, and now I'm no longer Mormon, so it's different for Mormons than for other Christians. First of all, they believe in the Judaic Christ, so it is understandable when people say that they're not Christian, simply because they believe in the Judaic Christ. And secondly, not only do they believe that their religion is right, they believe it's right for everyone, and if you don't believe it, you're going to some level of hell. So I can imagine the devastation I caused my parents when I left, but it had nothing to do with them and everything to do with the fact that I no longer believed it. So I can imagine this woman's devastation when she found out that her daughter-in-law no longer believed in God. But here's my thing. Why did she tell her? Freaking kidding me? Were I married, I would not tell my mother-in-law I didn't believe in God. Okay, I told my parents that I'd left the church just because I wanted to be open about it, but if I didn't believe in God, like that's not a conversation I would ever have with them. And an in-law? Most assuredly not. And the woman's reply was, well, I don't want my grandbabies being raised in a godless home. Well, they're not your babies to decide where they're being raised. So yeah, then she didn't understand why she stopped receiving invites to such said godless home. Some people really, like, they don't understand why what they say is so super offensive. I can understand why this woman felt so betrayed, because that generation of LDS folk, it's very personal to them. Like, it's a personal attack if you don't believe what they believe. But give it up, people. It's not personal. We're not leaving because we hate you. We're leaving because we don't believe it.